Good afternoon, folks. This is Deb Delapiana, and this is a special 2022 wrap of Shut the Fuck Up. You know, let me preface this with the statement that when I started doing these years ago now, we could actually laugh at a lot of this stuff like it was harmless. We're not in that spot anymore. So some of this stuff is going to have to be dealt with in a more serious manner as I go on. So I think it's probably best that we start with the lighter ones first, although none of this is really light anymore. But it's still quite unbelievable, some of the shit that comes out of these people's mouths. Their asses must be jealous. So we're going to start with Marjorie Taylor Greene. I got two for her. The first one was her statement that had she and Steve Bannon actually been the organizers of the J6 insurrection, her statement was that, quote, we would have won and it would have been armed, end quote. Well, first of all, let's deal with the armed part. It was armed, okay? We now know from receiving texts from Secret Service people and from police that there were people with automatic weapons in the trees. And I would consider metal poles that you beat policemen with, bear spray, zip ties, and knives. Those are arms. It's not just, AR-15s. So that's the first shut the fuck up for Marjorie. But then Marjorie, as people started pushing back on this statement, went out there and posted to the Biden administration that they need to understand what sarcasm is. None of what she said was said as sarcastic. Marjorie Taylor Greene is an insurrectionist, and she meant every word she said. There's absolutely no question in my mind that that's true. So Marjorie trying to placate her critics by calling it just a little sarcasm, she can shut the fuck up. The second for Marjorie Taylor Greene was about George Santos, the new elected scumbag in New York, Republican, who has made up more stories than I could possibly. I mean, we'll be able to fill a book by the time he's done. The latest one that I've seen now is him talking about having a brain tumor and being treated with chemotherapy and having immunodeficiencies. I don't know, from here on out, after everything from this guy, I don't believe a goddamn word he says, because he's been exposed as a pathological liar, just like his mentor, Donald Trump. And if there's any question about him being a MAGA candidate, he was seen in December with white nationalists and other insurrectionists at a meeting. So there is absolutely no question. But Marjorie Taylor Greene went out there and made the statement that lefties hate him because he's gay. Really? Well, unfortunately, Marjorie, that's a big shut the fuck up too, because lefties actually are the people who champion gay rights in this country. It is not people like you. You're okay with those people, as long as they're spouting the MAGA message. And that's exactly what George Santos does. But let me just say this. I don't believe he's gay either, because he divorced a woman in 2019, just before he ran in 2020 and got smothered in his race. So I don't believe George Santos one iota, okay? And the notion that he's effeminate does not mean he's gay, okay? It just doesn't. That's a, popular stereotype. But Marjorie, shut the fuck up, because we do dislike him here on the left, but we dislike him because he's what we call lisexual. Okay, that's Marjorie. Let's move on to Laverne Spicer. Now, Laverne actually ran for office and got pummeled. And She is another self-loathing Black woman who grabs onto the MAGA ideology. And, she made the statement after Zelensky visited the Capitol and met with Congress. She made the statement, and I'm quoting this: "No one has ever disgraced the Capitol like Zelensky did in those cargo pants." She was apparently upset that he showed up not in a suit. But the notion that no one ever disgraced the Capitol like Zelensky did, well, I don't know. What do we call the people who broke into the Capitol on January 6, 2021? Some of them who defecated in the building. People who broke into people's offices, stole stuff, chased people, went there with zip ties with the intent of doing harm to people. That's not disgracing the Capitol. Laverne is a bit dim, and Laverne lives in a fucking alternate reality, and Laverne can shut the fuck up. Zelensky didn't disgrace anybody. The people who spent their time on their phones ignoring the entire thing, like Matt Gaetz and Lauren Boebert, they disgrace this nation. They are an embarrassment to this nation. Whether you agree with anything that's going on or not, you don't act that way in America. I'm sorry. There is, code of, behavior that you accept as a public servant. Okay? Laverne is also the woman who posted, "You will never catch me using pronouns." Shut the fuck up, Laverne, because the word you and me are pronouns, just in case you didn't know. Now, let's move on to Kyle Rittenhouse. This was Kyle's post on Twitter, and I'm reading this word for word. "I'm proud to be an American. I'm proud to be a Christ follower. I'm blessed to live in America and have the freedom to worship God. But if Americans do not continue to fight against those trying to take away our rights, our freedoms will be taken. Don't stop fighting for USA." End quote. Shut the fuck up, Kyle. You know what? Kyle Rittenhouse, yes, was found not guilty, not innocent, not guilty by a jury of his peers, okay? But Kyle Rittenhouse, the facts will show, bought a gun. He did not buy a gun. He had an 18-year-old buy him a gun, a friend, buy him a gun so that he could use it in Kenosha, Wisconsin. He stayed at his friend's house. He was dropped off there by his mother. He stayed at a friend's house. His friend's father knew he was walking out the door with a Smith & Wesson AR-15 and knew it was illegal and never tried to stop him. He shot 2 unarmed men. Now, under the definition of Wisconsin self-defense, the defense may have been able to meet that reasonable doubt theory, where, he said he didn't know what was going to happen because he thought one of the people was going to take the guns out of his hands and shoot him. I really believe they were trying to disarm him because he was looking for trouble. That's the only reason you're 17 years old and you go to Wisconsin in the middle of a riot. He went to protect a fucking car lot. What, are you kidding me? Are you serious? We'll never know what the intention of the dead people were because they're dead. But Kyle Rittenhouse isn't. And all of these people who profess to follow God and know God and worship God, they're all a pack of hypocrites. And they can shut the fuck up, especially Kyle Rittenhouse. He had a lot of help, though. He had his mother, he had his friend's father, and he had the police who invited, literally, armed freaking thugs to do the job that they should have been doing. You know what? If they couldn't handle a job, call up the National Guard. That's what a well-regulated militia is, as defined by the Second Amendment. We won't get into that, but we will later. Lauren Boebert. She's next. So, Lauren Boebert has alleged that there are no killings in states where you can carry guns legally. Really? Well, let's counter a little bit of that. Let's take Texas, for example, where you can apply for a gun permit while you're in your mother's womb and have the gun delivered as soon as you get to your crib. So Texas has had 8 mass shootings in the last 13 years. And let's define a mass shooting. It's where 3 or more people are killed in a public venue. And one of the people killed cannot be the shooter. So it's basically innocent people that are killed, okay? Not the shooter who may or may not be killed by police or may not kill himself or herself. So Texas has had 8 mass shootings in the last 13 years. And the overwhelmingly GOP-controlled legislature has managed to loosen the gun requirements so that you can now carry guns in school. And you can also have the right to open carry. They have been loosening the laws for a very long time. Let's talk about the Santa Fe High School shooting near Houston in 2018, 10 killed and 13 injured. The El Paso Walmart, 2019, 23 killed, 25 injured. The Uvalde school shooting just last year, 21 killed, 17 injured. Then let's move on to Colorado, which is Lauren Boebert's state. They are absolutely no stranger to mass shootings. And by the way, Lauren Boebert owned the Shooter's Grill in Colorado, where her waitresses had guns strapped to their waist as they served you food. You should feel safe there, she said. Oh, hell no. What if I undertip a waitress? Am I going to get my head blown off? No, thank you. But let's talk about the mass shootings in Colorado. We'll talk about Club Q. That was just last year. It was targeted because it was an LGBTQ club. 5 killed and 19 injured. Planned Parenthood, 2015. We can, understand that was also targeted by anti-abortion forces. 3 dead, 9 wounded. The Century 16 Theater in 2012. 12 dead, 58 wounded. That's not enough. Let's go to Florida. This will be the last one. Florida, the Pulse nightclub, another LGBTQ club that was targeted. That was 2016, 49 killed and more than 50 wounded. And the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in 2018, that trial is just wrapping up now. He got life. He was spared the death penalty. 17 killed and 17 wounded. He was an ex-student, a former student. Lauren Boebert can shut the fuck up. The fact of the matter is, we here in Massachusetts don't have mass shootings because we can't carry those kinds of weapons here. We're not even on the charts. How's that? In this country, since Sandy Hook, 4,000 kids have been killed in a school environment. 4,000. All by people who carried semi-automatic or automatic weapons. Lauren Boebert can shut the fuck up. But I'm not done with her yet either. She's had some doozies. But then again, I consider her the gift that keeps on giving. She's also out there dancing around on Twitter she said, first she opens up the tweet with, "I'm confused." She certainly is. She's out there gloating that the J6 committee dropped the subpoena for Donald Trump. I'd like to remind Lauren that the J6 committee has already referred Donald Trump to the DOJ for 4 criminal indictments, including insurrection. And I'd like to remind Bobblehead that they have texts, videos, audio, emails that prove without a shadow of a doubt that Donald Trump was the architect of what happened in Washington on January 6, 2021. They don't need to chase him around and give him a venue so he can continue his lies. Shut the fuck up, Lauren. And the last one from Lauren is this one. Men are demonized if they don't identify as a woman. I don't know where the fuck she pulls this stuff. Well, I do, but I don't want to say it. You know what? The exact opposite is true in America, actually. If you want now especially with the GOP and the right wingers out there and all the manosphere people, it's amazing. If you aren't a toxic male, you're demonized. So it's quite the other way around. And Lauren Boebert needs to shut her big fat pie hole, although I doubt that she will. So I just want to talk about one more. You know, we have this group that we follow called the Libs of TikTok. And they're not libs, by the way. They're really virulently anti-gay and anti-trans. They spend their time on Tucker Carlson or OAN or whatever other right-wing outfit, you know, that they can get a venue on. And there's a lot. Talking about how people like me, gay people, are groomers. We groom children to be gay and transgender. She can just shut the fuck up on that count alone, because that's patently false, okay? But its leader, known as Chaya Raichik, you know, is out there defending a former light middleweight kickboxer who is holed up in Romania because they don't generally go after people there. But the fact of the matter is this guy is a self-described trillionaire. I don't know how he got his money. We're going to be looking into him very much so, as we are the Libs of TikTok. We're going to look into Chaya Raichik in a serious manner. But he actually decided to go after Greta Thunberg on Twitter. And he was bragging about all of the cars he have and how they're muscle cars and they spew out plenty of carbon. He's proud of the fact that he's polluting the world. Okay, he just had to do it. So Greta responded to him. And she told him to write her back at smalldickenergy@getalife.com, which I thought was hysterical. And he managed to show himself smoking a big phallic cigar sitting in front of a pizza box. And that gave Romanian police the information they needed. They weren't sure that he was still in the country. They went after him and they arrested him yesterday with his brother and 2 other women. And they are charging him with sex trafficking and rape. These people are out there defending him. Defending him. Okay? Chaya Raichik posted, Greta Thunberg, how dare you? There are other right-wingers out there accusing her of entrapping him. I'd like to tell you just who this guy is. He was just arrested for sex trafficking and rape, and he and his brother and these 2 women have been holding 6 women under house arrest 24/7 in Romania and forcing them to take part in online pornographic videos. And he's pocketing all the money he's making from this. He has had them shadowed, watched. They can't go out of the house without having someone with them. He is the classic manosphere mogul. If people want to know what the manosphere is, you need to go to our website, www.factivistproject.org. We have all the information you need about all the misogyny and all of the toxic masculinity that is supported by the right wing in this country. And these people are Republican Party supporters. And never do I hear one member of the Republican Party come out and disavow a thing that they are saying or criticize a thing that they are saying. They can all shut the fuck up. Chaya Raichik, we're going to expose her. And we're going to keep on this Andrew Tate thing as well. Now, in closing, I'd like to say this. First of all, I wish you guys all a happy new year. But we are in for a lot of shit coming up. There is just no denying it. I wish I could be as lighthearted and funny as I used to be, but none of this stuff is funny anymore. This stuff is dangerous. Now, this is not over. This won't be over even if Donald Trump is indicted and serves time in prison, because these people are all out here and they are all crazy. There is no question about it. And they are right now in control of the House of Representatives. Come January 3rd, they will be sworn in, including George Santos, who's a pathological liar who actually lives in Florida and was elected in New York. That's against the law, but that doesn't matter to the GOP. People need to understand. This is funny in theory. It is not funny in practice. So, you guys, I hope you have a great day. And we will be back. You know, we're going to be ramping up our activity. There's just no way around this now. This is no time to relax. 52% of registered Democratic voters voted in the midterms. Not good enough. Not good enough. And come 2024, all of these seats are up again. And then we add the Senate to that in 2024. House of Representatives every 2 years, Senate every 6 years. We need to get out there because this stuff, I don't know if you guys spend time on social media. We are on 12 sites and we are monitoring it. This stuff is toxic. It may be funny in theory, but it's toxic in practice. And we need to change that. And there's no way you're going to do that unless you do your part. The DOJ is going to go after who they can find evidence on, but they are not going to get rid of people who have professed support for Donald Trump. That's not enough. That's up to us, the voters. We need to get them out. Barack Obama said, if 90% of Democrats voted, we'd have not a worry about the GOP or the right wing. And he is right. Time now to start exercising that civil right. Okay? Time now. We'll talk to you guys later. Hope you all have a great day. I'm not going to post too much serious stuff today. I'm going to give you a break, but come tomorrow morning, I'm on it. See you later.